Well, the first bit about unexpected uses for the site and getting out of the way, the best example of this is the way people used our site in response to Katrina. Briefly, people just repurposed our New Orleans site right away in ways that made sense for survivors in particular. Survivors posted stuff telling friends and family where they were relocated. Then friends and family put notices up asking, hey, have you seen this person? A couple days, then people started offering housing to survivors, and then a day or so after, people offered jobs to survivors. Pretty good, and that feels great. Now and then, people do find lost dogs through the site, which I like a lot. There's been, I think, at least 3 contributed kidneys through the site, although I've expressed my concern that we don't want to interfere with the normal donor registry organizations. How would we use press? How would we interact? We don't know. The problem is, how do people find news that's relevant to them, that's trustworthy, without maybe boxing them into an echo chamber where they hear only stuff that reinforces what they believe? Now and then you got to get a surprise. It may reflect my age, but recently I subscribed to the paper New York Times because I find that when I bought it, I read a lot of it, whereas when I was reading a different local paper, I didn't read very much of it. Although I have told some of the senior people at the Times that their comics suck.
So, as we've seen, most people today seem to find their apartments on Craigslist. And I wanted to ask what you thought the impact has been on the rental market. Sometimes I get the feeling like because this has become a place where everybody looks, landlords, brokers feel that they can just look for obscene rental prices because they think everyone's looking here, they'll eventually find someone dumb enough to pay it. I want to know what you thought about that.
Well, there's 2 effects. One is guesswork. The other is something I've seen directly. The guesswork part, as far as I know, by providing more information to the marketplace, that means that prices and actual market values of whatever, apartments or jobs, they will change more rapidly to what the market is really dictating, which means going up or going down. That's what economists think they're seeing on our site. And I talk to people here who think prices for both purchase and rental of real estate, they think they're stabilizing and maybe going down a little bit. That's theory based on what I've read. I think it's happening, but I'm not an economist. The other effect, which I've been personally involved in, is that 3-4 years ago, I listened to people who said that, basically the New York rental market in particular has been run by predatory apartment brokers for decades. And that, getting a place to live might cost you several $1,000s in commission, which doesn't sound good to me. And there were problems with bait and switch and so on, deceptive advertising and all that kind of thing. And sometimes outright scams. And actually we've worked with the cops and district attorney here to put away a couple guys. The deal is that, as far as we could tell viewed from the narrow lens of our site, we've helped get rid of some kinds of abusive broker behavior, maybe made it much less, which is fairly good. It also helps that sometimes when visiting the city, like I like to wander around neighborhoods, that's my idea of tourism. If I see an agency that I know about, I will drop in. The stages of the visit are disbelief, panic, and often photography. A brief visit at one agency, which used to be problematic, just created the first 2 stages because I didn't feel like lingering. But I don't do as much of that these days, just because I've done so much of it in the past, but it is pretty entertaining. For others to hear you.
I just wondered, you were talking about the work that you do helping to avoid criminality on the site. And I was wondering if that is the section, the housing section, that requires the most sort of policing, for lack of a better word, or if there are other areas where that are more also subject to that.
Which areas are the most problematic crime-wise? I don't know, because I tend to see only the cases that I handle, and Clint, who runs customer service, he probably sees the bulk of them, and I haven't asked him recently. So I don't really know, but if anything happens, I try to find out. Frankly, as far as urgent matters are involved, like crime, I'm on call 24/7, and my number is spreading across police jurisdictions throughout the country. Yesterday, while hovering around the late show theater, because I'm a Letterman fan, I spoke to some cops about that and let them know that if they need to call me at 3 a.m., I'm there. Why I'm qualified to be president. And by the way, I recently survived a rocket attack. By survive means I heard the siren for a rocket landing miles away.
You lived to blog about it.
Yes. Oh, did you have a question you've been waiting?
No, I was actually just raising my hand to say yeah when you said
Oh, thank you. Okay.
So how much did you make before the CEO, and how much do you make now?
How much do I personally make, or?
Your salary?
I don't tell people.
Okay,
And
understandable.
you didn't volunteer your income.
I'll
so-
tell you. 0, because I'm here.
Yeah. The deal is that we try to be as open as we can and as transparent. We don't talk finances, and there are actually some areas where, let's just say we're not legally allowed to talk about some things. Everything else is out there. It's very easy to find where I live, for that matter, or my phone number. I'm not unlisted, which may be a mistake.
Also, have you ever thought about selling for the $5 billion, taking the money and using it to help people in that sense, since that's your thing?
We haven't thought about selling the company and giving money away, or for that matter, running ads like Google ads. The deal is that we've spoken to a lot of people about this, and we look at, let's say, the Gates Foundation, all that, and Pierre Omidyar, Jeff Skull, who have billions to give away. And they're finding it really hard to give them away in a way that makes sense. The idea is that, you want to give the money away that is somehow self-sustaining. And that's, by the way, why I like microfinance. And they're finding it really hard to do that. And all we could do is complicate things with that extra cash. And we figure it is more socially advantageous for everyone if we let you keep the money that you would have otherwise spent on a classified ad. Like if someone's looking for a roommate, you may have to put up several ads costing anywhere from $40 to $100 a piece. And I think people need that money more than we do. So there's plenty of money getting out there for good stuff. That's there. The hard part is finding good ways to use it. We've got a good way by never taking it. At some point, I have to do some calculations based on we've given away well over 500 million ads, which are what the charity people call like-kind contributions, and they're worth at least $40 each. And if you do those calculations, in some respects, we're a bigger philanthropist maybe than anyone.